Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. And this time I'm going to be checking out the a new episode of MLP FiM, which unfortunately it's not so new because apparently I'm behind with these. Sorry for that. But it is Forever Philly, which is the 6th episode of MLP. I believe it's the 6th. Yep, it's the 6th. So without further ado, let's begin. Let me full screen. It's already recording. I already know that. So start the video in 3, 2, 1, click. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name, but we haven't seen her since. Oh gosh, what was it? Season 4? Was it season 4? Yeah, it was season 4, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
I can't believe the winter to spring transition is almost here.
Oh, I know.
It's different, but there's a bit of an echo that I can hear for some reason. I don't know why. I kind of like it. It reminds me of those whenever Saturday morning cartoons were a thing, and you heard the echo in the audio on like ABC. Disney's One Saturday Morning.
We still have so much to do.
I like it.
Oh, my bustles and bows. Rarity, did we?
Already hemmed, ruched, and cut, my dear.
Rarity, no reason to panic, but, we seem to be temporarily low. And when I say temporarily low, I mean completely out of...
The baby blue sapphires, they arrived this morning.
Wonderful.
Oh, how calm Rarity is.
Oh, what about the design for the...
And done.
Wow, you are good. And you've really outdone yourself this time. The morning sunshine tulip frock is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Look, I know you're worried about something slipping between the cracks, but with your managerial skills and my fabulous designs, we
Something
have
is going to
everything
happen.
covered.
You're right.
Something's going to happen.
There are no cracks.
Would you be a dear and fetch me some vermilion satin from the back, and I'll start on the Eternal Elegance Empire Silhouette evening gown.
My most certain pleasure.
Oh, I love this picture. When was the last time we had that kind of fun together? I can't remember. Has it been that long?
Oh crap.
I've been so busy running my shop. Oh no! Something, or should I say some pony is slipping between the cracks. I miss my Sweetie Belle.
Aww.
Running low on vermilion satin.
Oh gosh.
I can order more.
Okay. Oh, well, okay. No intro for this one. Okay.
And this is when we pretended we were storybook princesses.
We never saw
And
that.
Here, we pretended we were on a dangerous yet
I like that.
stylish
That's cool.
safari. So many wonderful memories.
Michael P. Fox. Okay. No relation to Michael J. Fox, I'm assuming.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but Sweetie Belle loves playing dress up. I miss her so much.
Rarity,
Then
just
why
get
don't
on
you
a
go
train
visit her?
and go back to Ponyville.
I wish I could, but between running 3 stores and the spring-sition, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, but you've already done almost all the work. I can handle the rest. But Rarity, go. I have everything well in hoof.
That's cute.
Point taken. I am going to visit my sister.
Way to immediately turn that around.
We can spend the whole day together, and we can do all her favorite things.
Oh boy,
I'm sure she'd love
that's
that.
cute. Okay.
Say thank you.
Of course.
I'm a
Get
very...
out of here.
I'm going. Hang on, sis. I'm coming.
Oh boy. So that's how afros were created in Ponyville. Whoa! Oh my! Is that concrete? scoop.
to do? Later? All right, Chip Cutter. We've done our part. The rest is up to you.
Chip.
You really
Oh.
think I have it in me to be a sculptor?
Yep.
Oh,
But
okay.
why?
Okay.
Because you said you weren't good at anything except getting in trouble for making sculptures out of your lunch, right?
Yeah,
True.
I can't help it. When I look at my sandwich, it's like it's just asking me to turn it into a dragon.
Well, what is this slab asking you to turn it into?
Here's the jingle.
Hmm.
Do it.
I see.
Whoa.
Wow! That's incredible! It looks just like us!
Wow.
We knew you had it in you, Chip.
This is way better than sandwich sculpting.
Chip, we're proud of you.
And boom. Sweet.
I finally got my cutie mark.
Woohoo!
That's great. Seems they're still helping the ponies.
Not a bad way to start a day. Not a bad way at all.
Okay.
Flipping
Is
ponies
it
is just about my favorite thing to do.
okay?
Whether satisfied?
Maybe it's just me, but whenever they were,
Mhm.
is it just me or are they just a smidge taller?
So who's up next?
I could be
Pretty sure
wrong,
it's
but
Zipper.
I probably
She
am.
needs help reconnecting with her cutie mark. 3 puppy paw prints. When is she
Cute.
swinging by? Well, I think she should be arriving right about
Rarity.
now.
Oh.
Wow, you are good. Come on in, Zipperwell. Okay, so what seems to be the problem exactly? It's my puppy, Ripley. We used to be so close. In fact, I got my cutie mark the day I found him and took him home. But now,
That's adorable
it's
with
like
the
he
wings.
wants nothing to do with me. Don't you worry. You've come to the right place. The Cutie Mark Crusaders are on the job. Trust us. Before you know it, you and your puppy will be back to being besties. You have the CNC guarantee. No matter what it takes, we promise you'll have our full attention. Guess who's here to spend
Ouch.
the whole day with a little sister? Rarity?
Oh boy. Oh, nuts. Oh, this
Sorry,
is
dear. Your
oh
timing.
boy.
I didn't even see you there. Tend to get carried away with my entrances. Rarity, what are you
Rare.
doing here? I am here to spend the day with you. I'm so excited I could practically
And in Sweetie Belle's mind,
You don't have to
nukes
think
just
about
go
me.
off in the background.
No. Oh, of course not. It's a treehouse. That would be Tragos. Right. Well, I sure am happy to see you. And spending the day with you does sound like a lot of fun, but I'm kind of right in the middle of something important. I have responsibilities and... Oh. Go on, Sweetie Belle. We've got this covered. How often do you get to spend time with your sister? Yeah, go have fun. You sure you two can handle our client here?
Client.
Client? Oh, that is so adorable. Thanks, I think. Ooh, you have mints to offer your client.
Actually, no, that's
How professional.
that's
Are you sure you two got this? We have it handled. Oh my.
handled. Okay.
Look at this wall of satisfied customers.
Oh boy.
You girls really have come a long way. Well, alright then. But let me know if you need me or run into any trouble. Come on, come on! You'll never guess what I have planned.
Oh boy. I can see.
What? It's just, I know how much you love these puppet shows. I did.
I can
Just a
already
little time.
see
You,
where this
me,
is going.
Greasy popcorn. It's like no time has
Thinky.
passed at all.
Okay. So walking on hind legs is officially a thing. That's good. That's
You move
good.
apart.
Banana peels are so very, very slippery.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh boy.
I guess I just prefer black box experimental feeder.
What?
Since when? I don't know. It's no big deal. This is great.
Did she say black box experimental theater? Is it just
Okay.
is she taller? She's not too much farther from. She's not too far from being the height of Rarity now.
Aren't you excited to be back here again?
Do I know my baby sister or do I know my baby sister?
I do not.
Yeah. Where is here exactly?
Oh boy.
Oh,
I already know where. I already
so
can see the
silly.
setup for
You
this.
know this is your favorite ice cream shop.
Ugh.
Oh, right. From when I was a little filly. And I convinced the original owner to come out of retirement
What?
to make it your all-time favorite dessert.
You convinced her. How many bits did you? Okay, I see it right there. The gem.
Huh. I remember it being much bigger. Well, go ahead.
What is that? The diet plan?
I'm dying to dig in. Well...
Yeah, I
That
see the setup here.
One tasty bite. Still a little hungry though.
We can get another sundae. Chocolate with rainbow sprinkles, perhaps?
I was thinking something more like a salad.
A salad?
When did you get so practical? Oh, I guess another scoop would be fine.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh boy.
Hey, Ridley! Look at me! Over here!
I already see the setup here.
I know you must be bored, darling. This is a very long line for one of Twisty Pop's balloons.
Oh boy.
But just be patient.
Again, I'm really
Once
enjoying
you
this
get the
episode
balloon
though
bouquet,
because
and
of how the setup is. I know what the setup is here. Rarity still looks at her.
Who's a good puppy? Who's a good puppy? You're the good puppy.
That's good. Yeah, Rarity still looks, still believes her little sister to be her little sister. But Sweetie Belle isn't the same little filly that she used to be. She has grown, she's matured, and
Good Scootaloo. See?
oh my gosh, I can only imagine how that's going to be taken advantage of with artwork.
Not working. Maybe
Scootaloo being a pet deal.
I don't think that's it, Scoot. Doesn't look like it's going so well. I'm just gonna do a quick check with the CMCs.
Well, I guess duty calls, and you have that now.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
Oh my gosh,
How's your day with Rarity going?
painful.
Well, it's not exactly great. What do you mean? I don't know. It's like Rarity doesn't even know me anymore.
I see.
I wish we could say our day is going better. But we can't. Seems like Zipper Will's puppy doesn't want anything to do with her. I see what you mean. You know, it's an awfully big puppy. Sweetie Belle, hurry! He's making it!
Shoot
Gotta
me.
go.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Just what to do with this.
Okay, I like his getup. Oh my gosh.
And pose.
What the?
Hit the camera.
Oh my gosh. That's cute. Oh my gosh.
Sweetie Belle, you did hate the camera for all these shots. Let's do it again.
What?
No. Come on, Zipper Will. You can do this. What do you mean, no?
Maybe get some larger toys,
Rarity,
some brand new toys for the dog.
This is hard for me to say, but Sweetie Belle, what is it? You've been acting weird all day. You used to love doing these things with me. That's just it. I used to. That's not who I am anymore. This isn't who I am. My cutie mark must be for something else. Because my puppy just doesn't love me anymore.
Oh, nuts.
But it is you. You love puppet shows and dressing up and taking silly photos and tiny little clown-shaped ice creams. Really? If you still think I like doing this stuff, then maybe you don't know me at all.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe Sweetie Belle talked to me like that. And after everything I did to set up a whole day of doing her favorite things. I mean, accusing me of not knowing her. I know her better than any pony.
Really?
Thank you, Twisty. But the hard truth is, my sister is being unappreciative right now. And I'm going to go and give her a piece of my mind.
Oh gosh. Oh, let me guess! He has a crush on her!
Well, what are you doing here? We're Applebloom and Scootaloo. They're with my puppy. He seems to like them better than me anyway. Now, I'm sure that's not true. It is. He doesn't like doing anything with me anymore. He didn't even want to play with this. And all puppies love these.
She's not a puppy anymore.
I think that might be your problem right there. Come on!
To the pet store! To get some new toys.
Fine Zipperwill, Ripley. Woof, woof! It's Zipperwill, woof!
I thought ponies were confirmed, related to cats.
Sweetie Belle! Zipperwill! We're sorry we haven't figured this out yet. Don't worry, girls. I think I cracked this one. There she is.
Rarity,
Oh,
hold
dear.
up.
Really should have changed.
Yeah!
I'm going to give her quite the talking to.
Hold it.
Right after she's done with her conversation. Anger is no excuse for poor manners after all. Okay, Zipperwill, what do you see? My puppy? That's not what I see. I see a full-grown dog. He did get bigger, I guess. He's not just bigger, he's older, too. You don't still play with the same toys from when you were a fool, do you? Oh. This squeaker is a little small for him now. It's just hard for me to believe he's not the same adorable little guy I found anymore. I understand. But doing things like you used to won't turn him back into a puppy. So, what do I do? Treat him like the dog he is, and find new favorite things to do together. You think so? I know so. Rarity? Oh, Sweetie Belle, I heard what you said, and you are so
Kind of hard to take you
right.
seriously with that,
About the
with
dog?
that costume.
Yes, but about us, too. The truth is, I know you're not a little filly anymore, but it's just the last time we did all of those things together, I didn't realize it was going to be the last time. I love doing those things with you. It's hard for me to let that go. Oh, Rarity. I love being with you, too. That will never change. But maybe we could just try to do different things together?
I was gonna say, why don't you just use your magic? Fetch, of course.
What is it, puppy? I mean, Ripley.
Fetch.
I love you too, Ripley. Thank you, Crusaders. No problem. Oh, Ripley.
Sweetie Belle, I am so very proud of the pony you've grown into.
And I'm proud that no matter what, I'll always be your little sister.
I have a little bit of time before I have to head back to Canterlot. Could we spend it together? What would a grown pony like you want to do?
Well, I do have one idea.
It might be illegal. Whoa. Oh my
I didn't realize
gosh.
the idea would be such a delicious
Derpy
one.
Bird's gonna have a field day with that one.
I'm gonna finish this.
Oh, I'll help you.
That's cute. Okay. I really enjoyed this episode. And I can easily see, again, this was another episode that had a really good, solid story. And that was extremely relatable. It's an interesting it's an interesting present look at how things have progressed. Not just with Sweetie Belle and the CMCs, but also with Rarity. Before, Rarity had just one shop in Ponyville. And now she has expanded her line. She has expanded her boutique to Canterlot and now to Manhattan. And I mean, she's got 3 stores. She's got 3 shops that she has to actually manage now. And so she has to visit each one periodically. She has to make sure everything's still going good. And so she can't, and so she's not able to stay in Ponyville all the time. She has something that she has to tend to. And it's kind of interesting because every single character that has that actually, think about it, it's like that with every single character. Every single character has taken on, I mean, every single one of the main 6 has taken on responsibilities that they have to tend to that takes them away for a period of time. For Rarity, she has her shops that she has to take care of. For Rainbow Dash, she's a Wonderbolt now. Fluttershy now has the animal reservation that she has to tend to. And, well, Pinkie Pie does still have, there isn't any other shops, but, well, Pinkie can pretty much travel back and forth anywhere without magic because Pinkie's somehow related to Deadpool. Pardon me. And of course, Applejack. Yeah, Applejack's more of the stationary pony. You know, she doesn't really go that many places, or she doesn't really have any other places she actually has to tend to. But for Rarity, for Rainbow, for Fluttershy, and even for Twilight. Twilight now, I mean, now that she has she's got more responsibilities now. She's a princess and she has that to deal with, and she's also got the concept of being Starlight's teacher. And now as a princess, she also has like I said, the princess duties. She has to basically have, I guess, meetings. We haven't really seen it, but I'm sure you can imagine off screen they happen, like meetings with Celestia, Luna, Cadence, and such. And also now, Twilight is also an aunt, and so she has that now too. And so every single character over the period of over a couple or few years in the show, however long the timeline actually is, has taken on responsibilities that they have to take care of. And it's something that has to be done. And it adds to the feeling of natural and realistic tone. And for Rarity, she's got, like I said, her boutique to have to take care of. And for Sweetie Belle and the rest of the CMCs, they too have shown that progression. They too have shown that development. Whereas before, they were just kind of hanging out and trying to find out what their special talent was, trying to get their cutie mark. Now they've got their talent and they know what their talent is, and so now they're able to help help other ponies. But besides that, there's also the growing maturity with the characters. All three of the CMCs are still growing. They're learning. They're adapting to the world around them, and it's realistic in the feeling and the portrayal with Rarity and Sweetie Belle here. Rarity is the older sister that still has the younger sister that she still loves and takes care of and looks at like her little bitty sister, the little baby sister that she always has or always had. But Sweetie Belle is the child that has grown, and I don't know honestly if you could say in terms of age if the characters would be like, I don't know, like 12, 13, whatever years old now, or if you could say that they might be like 14, like they could be very early teenagers. I don't really know. Age is never discussed really. It's and which that's okay. But like you can see the maturity with the characters. You can go back through each of the seasons and you can see the mental, emotional, and even the physical maturity with the characters. Like the characters actually seem a bit taller now than they did whenever like in season 1. And the mental and emotional maturity is the biggest adaptation that you can see. You can also listen to the characters, and you can hear with some of the voice actors that progression with their voice as well as they too got older, and it adds to that whenever the voice actors are actually getting older themselves, and it adds to that. But it's just like with anything, whenever you're little, whenever you're younger, you go through all different phases of things that you like. And it changes. Like 1 month, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, you could like something, and then the very next, you don't like it. Every single one of us have had things that we enjoyed as a child, whenever we were really young. But as we got older, we grew out of it. We lost interest in it, and we still remember the things. It's still nostalgic for us to think back on the things that we liked, but some of them we just don't do anymore. Be it a game that we played, think a TV show that we used to watch, music maybe that we used to listen to, and its progression. It shows that it. I mean, it's a way. I mean, it's completely natural. It's how we develop as people. It's how we develop. Um, Now, of course, that isn't always 100%. There are some times whenever you can like something as a child and it will stick with you throughout whenever you're growing up and you'll still continue to like it. Like for me, Disney and such. But and it can develop into something. I mean, it could develop into something that you still really enjoy. But here, Rarity feels that she's lost the connection to Sweetie Belle, and she can't really recall the last time that they hung out together and just did the things that Sweetie Belle used to do. Now, we glance back to this one picture here, and I don't know this picture where it shows Sweetie Belle on the swing. You can see her cutie mark there. I'm not sure if that was an animation error, like if that was accidentally put in there and was intended not to be. It would kind of make sense for this picture to be set before Sweetie Belle got her cutie mark back whenever she was a little bit younger and she still had the interest in the things at this time that Rarity believed her to. Um, because this right here would have been after season 6, like last year, and so I don't really know. Um, I'm not saying that this was an error, but it kind of makes sense that that this would have been taken place beforehand. It is possible it took place after, but like Rarity feels. She feels that she's lost a connection with her sister, and she can't really remember the last time that they hung out together. And going through the photos, she sees the photos of whenever Sweetie Belle used to play a dress up. Now that's a consistency, honestly, with whenever we got the flashback in the episode. I can't remember. Whenever Sweetie Belle was having the nightmare and Luna showed her the error of her ways, and we saw Sweetie Belle at one of her parties playing dress up there. So this is a bit of a consistency that is carried on. And Sweetie Belle isn't really interested in playing dress up anymore. She's older. And like I said, Rarity feels that she's not connected with her anymore. And so, but at the same time, I mean, and so she wants to hang out again. She wants them to hang out. She wants them to be sisters again. For Sweetie Belle, however, Sweetie Belle has her own responsibilities. Now that she is helping the rest of the CMCs, they've taken on a responsibility themselves of helping other ponies to figure out what their special talent is. They realize that that's what their special talent was, to help other ponies, and so that's what they're trying to do. They really enjoy doing it, and they're not just doing it because they feel they have to. They want to do it, and so. But the thing is, Sweetie Belle, she still loves her sister, and she still loves hanging around her, but she felt pressured here. She felt like all these things were kind of forced on her, and she had something else that she wanted to do that needed to be taken care of, and she felt like she was kind of stepping away from her own duties by doing this. And what made it even worse, like, she didn't mind it, but whenever she began to realize that all these other things that was being kind of forced on her, things that she really had no interest in anymore, then it began to realize, I'm missing helping some pony out to be bored out of my freaking skull. And so Rarity began to see that disconnection, and she felt even more distant from Sweetie Belle whenever she began to see the difference between them. And Sweetie Belle still felt, I mean, you could see that maturity with her. All the things that she used to like whenever she was little, she knew that she liked them whenever she was younger, but she didn't have an interest in them anymore. And Rarity was still treating her like she was just a little filly, but Sweetie Belle has matured. And it was interesting, again, that situation there, that dynamic. Rarity was trying to relive the old days, the glory days of whenever Sweetie Belle was but a mere filly. And Sweetie Belle has matured. She's not interested in the same things that she once was. She has her own interests now. And it was kind of funny, with the uh, if I may say, like, that moment whenever Rarity and Sweetie Belle, I just had this idea go through my mind. That moment whenever Sweetie Belle and Rarity are sitting in, whenever Rarity and Sweetie Belle are sitting here, and Rarity still thought that Sweetie Belle would have an interest in the play theater like that. I don't really, there's an actual name for that. I don't know what it is. Pardon me. But, and then Sweetie Belle makes the mention that she just prefers black box experimental theater. And I thought to myself, is that like, and I couldn't help but think to myself, is that supposed to be like could that be like a little reference to Netflix or something? It'd be interesting, like, hey, that's a TV show, Black Box Experimental Theater. It's got more mature themes with it, more crude humor, things like that. You know, it kind of seems like that. I mean, again, that's just my thought. I know 100% it isn't, but it's an interesting thought, to have. And like Sweetie Belle, like to imagine Sweetie Belle is more aware of the world around her. She's more she's more she's more aware of the world, and so other things like that she's able to tune out. Like, she's able to desensitize herself from things that she doesn't have an interest in, something that we do, but for her, like, I just had this kind of image, like, to go through my mind where Rarity here, like, in the park, like, they start watching, or like, Blue's Clues or something. Rarity starts putting on music, and it's like I don't know, like, it's the Sesame Street theme, or it's something from Barney, or Blue's Clues. And then I just had this comical image go through my mind of Sweetie Belle saying, I'm not interested in that music anymore. I more prefer Metallica. Something like Black Sabbath, something like that. Like, I just had that image go through my mind, how of a comical skit there, like a comic where where Sweetie Belle says that, and then Rarity sees, I don't know, like a spiked wristband or something on like a dresser. like, and tickets to the next Mayor Metallica concert. Um, but anyway, yeah, Rarity felt that. I mean, she still looked at she still looks at little Sweetie Belle as her little sister. But Rarity, she didn't want to let those moments go. She didn't want to let her little sister go. And honestly, this, like I said, this is a very relatable episode because for Rarity, there's two different perspectives here, and both perspectives are understandable and relatable. For Rarity, she didn't want to let things go. She was afraid of change. She didn't want to see her little sister grow up. I mean, at the same time, she was proud of her. She couldn't fathom her little sister just, she was afraid of her little sister growing distant from her. And in a sense, it kind of makes me think about a Goofy movie. Goofy felt distant from his son. Max was a teenager. Max had his own life, and Goofy felt that he wasn't a part of it. So he tried to have this trip. Okay, now that I think about it, I'm just kind of waiting for a comic where somebody does a comic or maybe a fanfic or something where Sweetie Belle comes home and suddenly Rarity has like the car packed, which for Rarity would probably be something like a Jaguar or a Rolls Royce. Can't fathom Rarity driving an AMC Pacer, but she has something like a Rolls Royce or a Jaguar or something, um, or okay, more like a BMW, packed up, and Rarity's like, road trip, and like you see the camera zoom in on Sweetie Belle, and she just goes, ugh, and then collapses, and it's a kind of a similar setup it's a similar setup with a Goofy movie, but yeah, for Rarity, she didn't want to grow completely distant from her little sister. She did not want to lose that part of her. She did not want to lose that part of her family. She didn't want to lose her little baby sister, the sister that the two of them had been so close for so long. She didn't want to grow apart from her, and so she wanted to try to keep reliving the past. She wanted to try to keep that going, and it's completely understandable. Like as a parent, pardon me, which I am not, by the way. Um, like she didn't want to. I mean, like and as a sibling, which I am also not, by the way. Um, she didn't want to lose that connection. She didn't want to see that go. She didn't want to lose it, and so she was trying to relive the past. She wanted to hold on to what little bit of essence of the past she thought was still there, and she didn't want to be apart from her little sister. She hated the thought that the last time that they hung out together was going to be the last time, and that she didn't want to let that go. She was afraid of that change, and it's understandable. And it's also understandable for Sweetie Belle as well because has she has matured, and whenever you grow out of an interest for something, nobody can force you to like it again. I mean, you either like it or you don't. And Sweetie Belle had her own interests, and she too had her own responsibility. She had her own life. She was helping other ponies to try to find what their purpose was, and she was trying to figure that she has that going for her. She had, like I said, she has matured, and she's not interested in the same things that she is in. I mean, that she once was. She has her own interests, and those could change later on. I mean, as she gets older, she could lose interest of the things that she is interested in now and move on to something else, or she could still like them. That's not really something one knows. But again, it was an interesting dynamic there. And at the same time, Sweetie Belle she did not feel distant from Rarity. Like she didn't know or feel any different. She knew she had matured, she knew she had changed in some ways, but at the same time, she still loved Rarity and she still enjoyed hanging out with her. Rarity's still the big sister that she loves, admires, and respects. And it was that where they had to adapt. Instead of hanging out together in the old way, they had to adapt. They had to find that reconnection and understand that it was it 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 was a meeting ground. It was middle ground for them. Rarity had to accept that Sweetie Belle has grown, that she has matured, and that the same things that she once enjoyed, she doesn't enjoy anymore. And Sweetie Belle had to, and so they had to find that middle ground. And instead of trying to hang out in the old ways, they had to find new ways, new things that they could enjoy together. And again, it's very much relatable. It's very much understandable, and I'm really glad that they did this episode in this way. I mean, it really did tackle a good, solid subject, and and it is understandable because while I know that a good portion of the people that watch MLP right now are older individuals, I know there are still some children that watch the show that will be able to understand the message in this episode, and I know they will still be able to understand it. And so I'm really glad that they did this episode this way. And we ourselves, we know, we understand that message. And I'm sure there are some in the fandom right now that can honestly relate to Rarity, to Sweetie Belle, or to both in that situation. And so already, again, I'm really happy that this season is tackling these understandable, relatable subjects that hit right at home and make you think back, make you relate to a past experience in your life. And I'm really happy that they did this episode, and it worked. And honestly, I don't think it would have worked with any other person but Rarity and Sweetie Belle. I mean, they could have tried it with Apple Bloom and Applejack, um, but I don't really know. I mean, it could have worked with them, but I don't know if it could have actually been passed off without being too far a departure from the character's actual character development, from their actual personalities. But again, I really enjoyed this episode for that. The story was really good. It had a really good, solid message, and it was understandable and very much relatable for both sides. Like, to me, there was no villain here. There was no bad guy. There was no hero. Both characters were equally at fault. Rarity wanted to hold on to the past, which is understandable. I mean, who can blame her for that? Nobody likes change, and she didn't want to let that go. Yet at the same time, Rarity was like the real. I mean, Sweetie Belle the was like the reality that change was inevitable and that it was going to happen, and you could either try to continue to stay in the past and be left behind, or you could try to keep up and pace yourself and keep up with those changes and adapt yourself to them. And it was very much relatable in that essence of how that worked, and it was great. And for me, like I said, I don't think either character was at fault here. And I know some people might say that Sweetie Belle's outburst at Rarity might have been a little out of character for her, that she might have acted like overly sensitive or something. But at the same time, again, you kind of have to understand Sweetie Belle, if you could, like, I don't know about the age deal again, but you could say that Sweetie Belle is still young. She's still much younger than Rarity. And so she's still at that stage where she's sort of a bit at that rebellious stage, if you could probably say that. And she's got that angst, in a sense, flowing through her. Like, I don't expect, and I'm really glad they won't go that route, to see moments where she's like rebelling against the whole world, that kind of thing. The whole teenage rebellion thing. I really don't think we're going to see that. But it is understandable at the same time. I mean, she had her own duty that she wanted to tend to. She wanted to she wanted to try to help some pony out. And while she was excited at the concept of hanging out with Rarity, suddenly Rarity is forcing all these things on her that she used to like, but she doesn't have any interest in anymore. And she was bored. She felt out of place. It felt awkward for her. It felt awkward. It felt awkward with her sister, and she felt that she was also being left out intentionally. And she also felt left out of helping the CMCs. And so she felt that she was missing out, and she was upset by it. And again, it's understandable. And so again, I see relatability and understandability for both characters here, for both parties. Both characters were right and wrong. Both characters were flawed here. And it was really interesting at how that played out. And again, I really love this episode because of that dynamic, because of how it played out. It really did play out well, and I'm really happy with how it worked. And again, I really enjoyed this episode. I really, really did. This was a really good, solid episode, and I'm really happy that the season is continuing with the solid, hard-hitting episodes of reality and relatability that it is. And so again, I really enjoyed this episode, and it's a great, it's another great episode that shows that continuity, that continues to show that development with the characters, that looks back on the past and continues to move forward. I mean, it's living in the present, but it gives you an idea of what the future may hold, of what is ahead on the horizon. Yet it still glances back at the past, acknowledges that, and it doesn't shun it or make fun of it or diss it completely. It acknowledges that. And again, I'm really happy that they went the route with this. And again, if this was any other show, this probably would have showed that would have showed that teenage angst concept with Sweetie Belle, like rebelling against her sister. And if this was any other show, there'd probably be some sort of scenario where Sweetie Belle would probably be getting in trouble, and Rarity would have to, she would have to scold her for it. But I'm really glad that this is Friendship is Magic, and the way that Sweetie Belle was portrayed here, like, she had a good head on her shoulders. She knew what she wanted to do. She wasn't getting in trouble. She was trying to help. And she was rational. She was She was understandable and understanding about the situation. And so it was interesting and it was also interesting how these two dynamics here crossed together. I mean, it was the same scenario, but two different scenarios at the same time, with the dog being older, not being interested in the same things that it once was, and so it had to find a new connection with its owner, whose name escapes me. Whippoorwill? Rarity, again, I really enjoyed, and so Rarity had to see that scenario play out from outside of her own view. She had to see that scenario and understand it from a third perspective to be able to understand how it was being portrayed, how it was playing out between her and her sister. And again, I really enjoyed this episode for that. I mean, again, this is definitely a really good episode. I really enjoyed this episode. And going over some of the background segments here, it was interesting to see this other character whose name completely escapes me. I'm terrible with names. I'm really sorry. That we haven't seen since season 4. And it was interesting to see her again. It was really interesting. And it was really good to be able to see that continuity with her working there at the shop. And we also got to see Rarity just being calm and casual about her shop, which was really cool. Also, in the beginning, we saw some other characters return. We saw Fancy Pants and Fleur de Lis. Those names I remember. We got to see, I think it was Lemon Drops and Colgate, who made a few appearances throughout the show. We also got to see this other character. I forgot her name, but she was like the goth-like pony who had the best friend who was a really upbeat sunshine pony before. So we got to see her make a little cameo there. And then we also got to see, again, it was interesting seeing these pictures, the references, the glance back at the past. It was interesting to be able to see that. And again, with Rarity crying, I'm sorry, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's just comical and how overly dramatic she is whenever she's crying. Pardon me, and I don't mean that like in any disrespect to, pardon me, and I do not mean that in any disrespect to her character. Like, I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, it's just comical, and I don't know if that's intentional with the writers, how her character is written, but I'm truly sorry if it's not supposed to be that way. But again, like, I do feel for her here. But at the same time, it's just the explosive bawling that she does. It's kind of hard not to laugh, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm a horrible person because of that. But another reason that solidifies what I said is just how suddenly Rarity decides she's going to go see her sister, and she's just like, okay, let's do this. She's just like, oh, I want to see my sister. Okay, let's do this. I mean, just sudden, just like that. And so, yeah, and even this other character here kind of makes a mention about, well, that was a quick change of tone, wasn't it? And it was interesting here, whenever the CMCs are sliding down the hill with the big slab of concrete, yeah, I thought, yeah, some kind of something illegal here. What's going on? And then they blew past this guy and made an afro. So what did so canonically did the CMCs, was it the CMCs who helped to usher in the 70s? Have we entered the 70s in the show yet? You know, I'm sorry, I have to say that this kind of would have been a good opportunity to have had this character pay an homage to Mr. T from the 18. That would have been a good opportunity. Um, but again, and I love that scene, like with that mountain. I love that scenery right there. And again, I'm kind of wondering, I just now noticed that, how the heck did they get that slab of concrete all the way down that mountain, and where did it come from? But again, I love that scene. I love that scenery. Okay, I have to point this out. Again, I'm sorry. I'm a background nut, okay? I love freaking heck, it went back too far. Again, I really admire the detail for this. Like, the texture for the clouds, all the detailing with this mountain range, how it is, like, foggier up at the top. You see the mountains, you see the valleys, the trees. There's a lot of detail here. And as it cascades down, you can see the differences with the houses. I mean, you can see Ponyville, you can see the other little houses, like inside the town. You can see like the other houses farther apart on the outskirts of town. Like, there's a lot of detail and structure here and world building. There is a lot to this, and it really shows. And I love how that it looks. Like, this is incredible. I really love this. It really adds a lot of detail and structure to it. And whenever they showed up and there was a slab of concrete, like, no joke, I was waiting. I know this is MLP, but I was honestly waiting for that slab of concrete to just start to fall over, and then for that guy to look up and be like, oh, and boom! And then just, like, and then they have to move it off of him, and there's, like, the imprint of him in the ground, and he sticks the hoof up. I'm okay! Sorta! But again, they could probably do that in a comic, in a fan comic. But again, it was interesting for that. And so then they help him understand his talent of art, of sculpturing. There's an actual term for that. And honestly, I wasn't expecting him to make a statue of the CMCs. I thought he was going to make like a statue of Discord, or just this amazing statue. What would have been even more comical if they had actually made an actual statue paying homage to a realistic statue. Shoot, what was it? Anyway, like paying an homage to an original statue, but in pony form. That would be pretty cool. Although, okay, I can understand they're not doing that because they probably have to get permission, and that'd be quite difficult. So yeah, I can understand that. But again, it's interesting that they did that. And honestly, like I said, I was expecting him to make a statue of Discord. And again, maybe it's just me, but I honestly thought the CMCs were just a smidge taller in this episode. Maybe that was just me. Maybe that was just a few shots. If there were a few shots where they seemed normal height, but again, there was a couple of shots where they actually looked taller. Maybe that's just me. Now, their hair doesn't appear to be getting any longer. I honestly think some of their hair may stay this way. Their hair may get a bit longer as time progresses. But yeah, it was interesting to be able to see that progression with the characters. And again, it was really cute. We got some cute faces this time around. We got to see, I think it was Whippoorwill. I apologize if I'm wrong with that. Come back. We also got to see the progression age with the dog, too. Like, that was the same dog used in the other episode, which name I also forgot. Where we got to see her and her father and the puppy. So, yeah, progression, continuity. That was really cool. And so, again, it was interesting. And again, what this kind of made me think of whenever they were at this little theater with Sweetie Belle and Rarity here is like, in like a real life scenario, a real life situation of that would be like Rarity would be like someone dragging you to some place that you used to hang out as a kid, but you don't have any interest anymore, like some sort of little kids playground or park or something, or like a little funland or something. And there's these little bitty child rides, and you're just like, yo, I don't want to ride the little kiddie ride that goes like 1 mile an hour. I want to ride the roller coaster of death, okay? I want to ride the roller coaster of death and vomit out my entire day's worth of food, okay? Into some stranger's lap, okay? That's what I want to do, okay? Also, like, I was going to compare it to someone dragging you to McDonald's or someplace where has the ball pit. But you know what? Ball pits are fun. I don't care how old you are. Ball pits are always fun. Like, okay, they are. They are. If you've played in a ball pit, you know what I mean. Ball pits are absolutely fun, man. Regardless of your age, ball pits are the bomb, okay? Um, like if like it honestly would be cool to get a swimming pool put in your yard and just fill it with like the plastic balls from a ball pit. Man, that'd be so much fun. But again, like Sweetie Belle just feels like kind of out of place here. Now, of course, she is the same height and like close to the same age as these other children here, but like I'm not saying, but at the same time, she has she has matured. Now, all these little fillies and colts that are here, okay, fillies that are here watching the show, this is their thing. This is their interest. It's not for every pony, because obviously not every single child in Ponyville is here. Just these. There's others that are off probably playing video games, like Button Mash. Button Mash is probably wondering where Sweetie Belle is right now. Yeah, but again, not every little filly is here or colt, and so this is not every pony's interest. But and so yeah, it's that continuity, it's that natural essence there. And again, one could say, and again, someone might could say, well, you know what? I mean that everybody has their own interest. In reality, everybody has their own interest. It's totally fine for adults to watch cartoons. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that tells you adults can't watch a cartoon needs to go climb under a rock and stay there. It's totally fine. If it wasn't, then you wouldn't be able to go to Walmart and find SpongeBob, Disney, or Looney Tune T-shirts for adults. But and another thing we got here was again the filly walking on her hind legs, dragging the puppy. Again, in some ways, there's a bit there's a little bit of inconsistency here. We know that in Equestria Girls, and I can't believe I'm using that as a reference here, but whenever Twilight came out of the mirror and she was standing on her hind legs, she kind of wobbled, and it's like she had trouble standing on her hind legs. She had trouble walking on her hind legs. Okay, we have seen some shots before where the ponies can stand on their hind legs, no problem. And we also, of course, there's comics where Lyra can walk on her hind legs. But this is something that I know of, that I can recall. I apologize if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that I recall, or that I know of, we've actually seen a pony walking on their hind legs and not seeming to display any sort of problems while doing it. That it just seems natural and they're able to do it without any problems whatsoever. So, does this add to the canon? Does this mean that the ponies can actually walk on their hind legs like normal? But, I mean, and it not have any problems, but it's just in their natural DNA. They're ponies, they walk on all fours. Like for us humans, we walk on two legs. Okay, yes, we start crawling, I know. But, I mean, we develop to that we walk on two legs. I mean, could it be that they could walk on their hind hooves? On their hind legs? I don't know. I'd like to believe so. Yes, I'd like to believe so. That's my headcanon anyway. But again, now the puppetry here also displays the other characters to be standing on their hind legs, of course. So, not really sure with that. You could probably, again, I'm not really sure on that one. But, again, we got to see Colgate back in the shop, which is interesting. So, man, she's been a lot of places. And again, I love the design for this little sweet shop, for this ice cream parlor. I like that. And we got to see the little bar stools, like the little bar stools, which are a lot smaller which are a lot closer to the floor for them to sit on. And so it's human-like, yet it's adapted to ponies. It's like shrunk down for ponies, which I like that. Um, but again, the ice cream was cool. And yeah, I can imagine, yeah, whenever Sweetie Belle was much smaller, yeah, that ice cream would have been a lot bigger. Um, that's just like right now, as a kid, you could probably eat kid cuisine or Lunchables, and you'd be good. Now, however, a Lunchables or a kid cuisine won't really fill you up. It's like a small snack. It won't really fill you up for very long. Um, but okay, but yeah, no joke. Lunchables and kid cuisines are still good. Like they are still good. Um, but uh, again, this one guy, this balloonist, this one guy here, uh, that made that heart for Rarity. Again, yeah, I know some people are going to ship that out to sea like crazy. And the designs, the costumes for Rarity and Sweetie Belle, my gosh. The Mary had a little lamb. I won't deny Sweetie Belle looks adorable like that. And then the chicken, or yeah, sorry, the rooster and the egg. And then Rarity dressed as a butterfly, and Sweetie Belle dressed as a caterpillar. And she's like bored out of her freaking skull. And then then Rarity's dressed as what, Kermit the Frog? And oh gosh, that was the duck face, wasn't it? That was the duck face. Hey, I just realized that's the first time we've got the duck face this season. That's the first time. Interesting. And I gotta say, Rarity looked adorable dressed as a flower. I gotta say it. And again, it was funny. And that face she made at the end, again, that was cute. But again, it was kind of hard to take Rarity seriously dressed up like that. Sorry, it just kind of was. It was silly, but it was fun at the same time. And again, another scene I really liked here was whenever Rarity jumped out from behind the bush and she was talking to Sweetie Belle, and the camera was doing that pan. Like the camera wasn't stationary with that shot. It was actually panning slowly to the side. It was actually panning slowly to the side and adding to that shot. And again, it's a subtle thing, but I'm really happy that they did that. I'm really glad that they did that because again, it added to that dramatic effect. It really did. It added to that, and I really liked it because of that. And again, going back to the story here, whenever Rarity tells Sweetie Belle that it's hard to let go of the past. It's hard that she still loved doing those things with her. She still loved hanging out with her. But it's hard to let go of the things that they used to. But Sweetie Belle was able to relieve her. Like she was able to comfort her and let her know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still your little sister. I might not like the same things that I used to, but that doesn't mean we can't hang out. That doesn't mean that we still can't be sisters. Or that doesn't mean that we can't still that doesn't mean that we can't still be sisters. I mean, we just have to find we just have to find some middle ground, some things that we can enjoy together now. And again, it was a really sweet dynamic. It was a really sweet idea and a really sweet concept to see that. I really enjoyed seeing this portrayed. I really like how that it played out. And that final scene again with Rarity and the ice cream. Oh, like I said, everybody's gonna have a field day with that one. But again, it was interesting. Like they both upgrade to these very freaking large ice cream things. And that clown right there, I don't know, like that kind of seems kind of familiar. I don't know why. Wait a minute. Sweet Tooth, of course. Sweet Tooth. Why am I thinking of Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, man? But again, that kind of makes me think of that. Like, I know. How can I look at ice cream? How can I look at that, which looks perfectly innocent, and think of Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal? I don't freaking know. That's how my mind works. I'm screwed up in the head. But anyway, I really enjoyed this episode. It was cute, it was sweet, and I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it was great to be able to see that dynamic further worked on with Rarity and Sweetie Belle. It was cute, it was sweet, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun, it was heartfelt, it was really sweet, and it was a really cute episode. And so again, I'm really happy that they did this episode this way. And so to everybody that worked on this episode, Hasbro, to all the writers that did this episode, the animators, everybody, thank you so much for doing this episode this way, for writing this episode. Again, this was a really great episode with the story. Thank you so much for the story of this episode, for working the story out the way that you did. Thank you all so much for this episode. And also to everybody watching, I hope you guys enjoy the reaction and the afterthoughts, the commentary on it. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you guys again for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.